going to be covered. That's going to be covered by extension at some point through the state. Forgot when. Adam has to work on steamlining that in. But that is a conference that Emory's going to in Portland, Maine next year. So currently it's coming out of our registration fees, but it's going to be reimbursed at some point for the end of the year.
Okay.
So.
Give that a minute there if you have any questions. Okay, we'll go on to number 8, and if there is some questions, we'll bring that back, and that's educator highlights. We're going to start off with 4-H. Are you?
Emory's online.
Okay, Emory. Are
Good
you
morning.
with us?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Can't hear you, Emory.
Can't hear you.
Thank you.
Did we do something wrong? This is on me.
Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me?
We can hear you online, Emory, but I don't think they can hear you in the boardroom.
Okay.
Okay. I'm wondering if it was we have it. Yeah, just. That doesn't work, then I have to grab ice. Yes, okay.
More noise.
PowerPoint.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So sorry about that. I'm homesick with a cold and I didn't want to share.
That's good.
That's good.
Today is just kind of, we're in the re-enrollment section of our year. As you know, our year starts over in October. So we're just making sure to get all of our volunteers recertified and young people re-enrolled. We had a wonderful month in October. That's where we celebrate National 4-H Week. We did a road rally, which is a scavenger hunt via car throughout the county. And our ending spot was in Hillsborough, so that was a lot of fun. We also did a coloring contest for the kiddos and our annual raffle. And we usually bring in about $15,000 for our raffle to support our programming efforts. So not terribly newsy. We have our annual awards banquet coming up in January that we are beginning to plan for. And a couple of trainings, but otherwise this is kind of a quiet season for us to kind of come down from really intense programming in August, September, and October.
Okay. Any questions for Emory?
Good report.
Thank you.
Get better.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, we'll move on then to livestock community development.
Sure. I can
Is this a joint thing here?
Well, no, we won't be joint, but I can get started, please.
Yeah, go ahead. Then we'll have Hannah.
Okay. First off, I'll share something that Sam and I have been working on together, and I had mentioned this previously, but I always like to remind people, we have started a dripless egg update newsletter. So we'll post articles that we've either wrote or maybe some of our colleagues have written. We'll also be posting events, both local and statewide, that community participants can sign up for. I think right now there's almost 80 people signed up for the newsletter. So we're getting a decent reach. I mean, we'll keep growing it and growing it and growing it. So I'm excited. Actually, last month, I think it was the day after our committee meeting, I headed down to Nordic Meats in between Westby and Baroqua, and they asked me if I could write a little article on a Belgian blue beef producer, and they brought a Belgian butcher in, and I got to kind of see that, and I ate raw meat at 6:30 in the morning, which was a little too early for me, but I'm glad I tried it. So I was excited about that outreach because I've been reaching out to the community, and they reached back, and I squealed a little. I got so excited. But overall, BQA trainings are still happening. Those will continue until February 10th. And in January and coming into this spring on a statewide basis, we'll be doing a Beef 101 lecture series. That'll be, I think there are 6 occurrences in January that the whole statewide beef team is helping with. So we'll start promoting that here soon, as well as a springtime lunchtime beef webinar series. So producers with on-farm and off-farm can join us during their kind of lunch break. It's going to be about 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes of content with different specialists from around the country. We have someone from Oklahoma State University on seller reputation at sale barns, and someone else on biosecurity that'll be coming up in January. Other than that, we're doing a Producing Quality Beef workshop on December 3rd in Richland Center at the Equity Barn that I've been working on, as well as we will have one in Bloomington at Bloomington Livestock Sales. And there'll be 2 others, but they're not as close to this region at all. That'll focus on getting a buyer's perspective at a sale barn, as well as talking about meat quality when you're selling your fed cattle, quality grade, yield grade, pre-harvest factors that affect meat quality, things like that. So overall, it really is just about producing high quality beef here in the Midwest. Other than that, I've really just been prepping. January and February are going to be busy months. So we have the Driftless Beef Conference coming up. So I've been helping with some of the marketing on that. I'm maybe one of the more kind of like techie little gurus on the team. So I get to help with some of those behind the scenes, which has been fun. Overall, yeah, I've just kind of been keeping busy with a lot of prep, and we'll see how these next few months go. Yeah, that's all I have for you.
Wow.
Questions?
Where do you subscribe to your Driftless Ag newsletter?
It is on the website.
On our website, either on the main page or on the ad page.
Yep. And if not, you can always send me an email and I can send you the direct link.
Or I can email to you too, Nate. You can do that.
Perfect. Thanks, Miranda. Yep.
Anybody else here? Questions? Thank you, Beth. Okay. Community development, Hannah.
I'll try to be very short. We
Cool.
have a lot going on right now. We just started our housing study. It's countywide housing study. You guys should have a copy soon. Yep. Your packet and the QR code, everything's active. There is. You have one, Will. There you go. Yep. So we're doing a countywide housing study in partnership with Extension and Amy Oliver's department, community development. It launched last Friday. I'm happy to report we have almost 400 responses as of yesterday. And so it's only been out a very short time. We did send it out to the school districts. We sent it out to municipalities and area businesses that we have emails for, as well as chamber and business associations. So it is widespread right now, and we are excited about that. So what I will ask from the committee is that you guys take that survey as well, participate in it, so that we can really get a really good comprehensive outlook on what our housing stock looks like, and what the future holds for future developments, what our communities say that you're needing or they feel that we need, where gaps at, and how are we going to be able to move forward from that. So that's what some of the insights that I'll give us. If you need a paper copy, if you don't like taking an online survey, I do have paper copies. And the paper copies will also be available at all of our libraries. So I'll be distributing boxes later today to our libraries, and paper copies as well as flyers. So they'll be ready for tomorrow. Last night we had a Inventors and Entrepreneurs Club and INE Club. It was on funding sources. I had Compure Financial there, along with CULICAP. And so they both talked about different forms or different avenues of funding options for businesses and agro businesses. So that was really successful last night. And then next month we will have one on growing specialty crops. So, and I'm going to leave that report there.
When do you want this survey back by?
Well, it goes through December 8th. I mean, as soon as you can get it done is preferable, but and a drop-off location too is at the extension office if you want to take it home today and finish it later.
Is this a random picture?
No, that's actually a picture from the Wanakee community-led housing study that they did. So originally, this study had, it's a extension program, and it was formed in 2018. And so one of the first communities to do it was Vernon. So they formed a housing task force. They did it. They've been able to make, actually create a whole subdivision in their area that was geared towards single-family housing. So
Is that when you're going through Wanakee, that is east, up to the left?
I'm not sure.
Because there's just so, I mean, Wanakee is just exploding.
They are. And part of it was them helping to do this study. They were able to figure out what their needs were for growth and what that
I feel
was
like
like.
I've seen them.
Yeah. So they actually, from it, were able to do 2 separate housing projects from it. So it was fairly successful for them. Mount Horeb has been part of it. There's a few other communities that are in the process of it. DeForest, the village of DeForest is working through it now. What?
Does Fitchburg have it?
I'm not sure. I
Okay.
don't remember
All right.
if they're on there. I know there's a couple other educators across the state that are working on this as well. So we're the only, we are the only group though that is doing a countywide. The rest are, so the program was built to be a community led. So we have modified it to be countywide. So
How about the new development on the county highway property? Is that going to make a dent in? It's got to be make a difference in housing shortage in Brooklyn.
possibly, but until I get data information back and see what the what people from Baroque area are saying, I'm not sure that I'll know what that adds up to. So, because yes, that's a certain amount of number of units, but we're looking at a larger scale, and then we'll have the 3 municipalities. We'll have an analysis to cover what that'll break down. So,
And these would be owned, correct?
So it depends on what projects ends up being recommended from the Housing Task Force to the Economic Development Committee. So it could be ones that are to own. It could be maybe there's people that are looking for more rental long term, but there could be some other factors. So at this point in time, it's speculatory and it's too soon to tell. So.
Sure. Well, the affordable one, that'll be 70 units.
That's a big.
That's a big
chunk.
project.
Yeah.
Then BDA has a project that's going on that Hanson farm, and that's multiple dwelling units, duplexes,
I think it's
row
mixed
houses.
housing, yeah.
Yeah, but it's all multiple. There isn't like single.
Is that going to happen soon then?
That infrastructure, we have a meeting next week, but that infrastructure, you can see that the pipes are coming. That'll get infrastructure, roads, water, sewer. That'll start next spring.
Okay.
It had to, VDA owned it and then sold it to the city. So now the city is the owner of it.
Interesting. Any questions here for Hannah? Otherwise? Okay, thank you, Hannah.
That's good.
Crops and soils, do we?
With some of the reporting
Yep.
is on that spread that Stephen Sheehan gave you. Since Beth and Sam are doing a lot of collaboration, she kind of explained they've been doing the Dripless eggs. So everything she said also covered what Sam had been doing, and a lot of Camarina stuff. It's his favorite project right now.
Okay, we'll go on. Item 9, audience to visitors. This is the land and water portion. Any comments? Please limit them to 4 minutes, please. And nobody online? Comments?
Excuse me.
Okay.
This is Shelley Brennan, and I'm online. I'd like to speak a bit.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, thank you for letting me have a couple of minutes here. I'm Shelley Brenneman. I work at Valley Stewardship Network. And I just wanted to say that I wanted to express my personal support for Ben Moyan, as he accomplished a great deal over the 12 years that I worked with him here locally. I really especially appreciated his enthusiastic and articulate leadership in conservation. And I do wish there could have been a process of possible resolution to the issues at hand, but I do want to just express my appreciation for his leadership and his great work.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, not hearing any other comments, we will move on. All right.
Yeah, that's also just questioning the process. I'm actually from Barney Hills Farms, my wife and I was in for all the time he's been here and all the stuff that he's done here for our county. And same thing, I wonder what could there have been a better process than this? Somebody to lose a job after being for 15 years, not having, due process or I don't know. Just have some questions, basically. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Okay, not hearing any. I'm going to move on to item 10. That's to review the land and water bills for payment. I don't know if did we get a copy of them? Okay, coming up. You didn't call me.
I've been there quite a bit. I'm so sorry. What a big water testing you left with.
I'm just going to read the totals here. The total expenses for this month were $153,899.32. October reimbursements and other revenue coming in were $59,893.63. Take a minute, look at them. If you have a question, please ask. Again, we won't be approving them. We're just going to have them filed. Any other questions on the bills? Okay, not hearing any, we will move on to item 11, which is the parks update. Marty's here.
Yep. Everybody's doing well. First, we usually look at the revenue. We're basically pretty much done. There's a little pixel money still coming in from bow hunters and all that. So I haven't went around and got the last cash money yet. I'll probably do that today tomorrow. But we came in pretty much right on line is what we have in years past, in like the last 3 to 4 years. Study Hollow's down a little bit from last year and the year before, kind of if you average that out. And that month of June was pretty rough. The beginning, there was a lot of flooding, a lot of rain, a lot of cancellations. So I kind of attribute that little downfall to that. But in general, I think we did pretty good. We had a real good year, a lot of good feedback, a lot of new projects and things that we want to focus on for 2025. Starting to do that planning phase now into January, February. So that's it. I kind of just did a real quick year-end review of some of the projects we did. Obviously, not all of them, but some of our members here were newly elected when some of the stuff was still going on, so it's maybe not at top of mind. So we did that shower house, timber harvest, added sites in the upper ridge. That came in really good. Couldn't find any pictures of the seating. I know I have them somewhere, but all that grass came in beautiful. I think people are really starting to find out that it's there and wanting to come back. Last week we did our removal of the docks at Blackhawk. This is a nice day for me when it's done, because then you don't worry about them really anymore. We do that spring, fall. There's one of the whole chunk requests that we did last year. We got rid of some old toilets, so we're an eyesore. Yeah, and then some of the flooding, kind of just pictures of that. That was the June. It was like a Friday evening. We were down there getting people out, trying to get a good spot.
What's Sadie?
Yeah, Sadie Hollow, that would be the main side.
Oh, wow.
And then we did kind of sent some more pictures of the finalization of the shower house. We did poured the approach for that, and Nick, well, everybody helped doing the partitions. That was something that we were going to get charged a lot of money for a company to do, and we just tried to do it ourselves and never done it. So it worked out. So it's good.
Congratulations.
And then we recently just finished up. We had some time where we were caught up, and the weather was good enough for us to get down at Duckgate and fix the crossings. That was work from 2018, still from the big flood. We touched them up one time when we were down there to make them usable, but now they're all back to being able to be crossed with half-ton pickup. You can get crossed with all of them, which is huge for our horseback riders, and then also for safety. If somebody would have to get in there to be able to get in there. So yeah, that's kind of the year in review. Obviously, there's much more that happened, but
Yeah, your update on police side. That was nice.
Yeah. So I didn't want to make it too long for everybody, but yeah, that happened, and many other things. Added water at Blackhawk for all our seasonal campsites.
How many sites are at Sidey and Sophia each?
There's like 79 at Sidey, and there's 27 at Sophia. Well, no, there's the other one coming up for 36.
What's the typical movement?
For hookup?
Yeah.
$45. Yep, 2-day minimum, unless you come in and you can stay for the night if you haven't made a reservation online.
Where is it?
That's on the upper ridge.
Okay.
At St. Hollow.
So these are ridge top campgrounds.
Yes.
And they're going to be popular too.
They're so most people remember that area as there were a lot of trees, and we had to do that timber harvest. There was a pocket of oak wilt, and we did like a 5-acre timber harvest last fall into this spring. So that was everything you're looking at there was all trees.
Oh, wow.
We pulled like probably 400 stumps out of there and reworked that.
Dave, it looks amazing.
It's really
You should go
nice.
up there. It's really nice. It looked like a bomb went off hers.
It was like making lemonade out of lemons. You know, it was, there's beautiful trees up there, but they were all dying. So we had to get rid of them, and it turned out to be nice. It's a place that's high and dry. We don't worry about, as you see, getting people out of the flood plain when there is flood. That is pretty nice. So now people have been, when they come and see it, they're like, wow, this is way different and it's nicer. So they'll come up there and stay. So it's pretty nice.
That's where the new showers are too, and bathrooms.
So yeah, there's a new shower building up there, and people seem to really like it. A lot of people have said, we will be back. So
I think people in Vernon County don't know about these numbers. It would be very enlightening for the folks to see what kind of revenue those campgrounds take in. I've only been here for a couple of months, but I was amazed.
Well, you guys, the committee has been super supportive over the years since I started in 2018. So the improvements we've done have worked, and it's kind of a machine that's up and running.
Good work.
Yep. Quick update. So that's all I got for you. And
Any other questions for Marty?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Marty.
Yep.
Okay, we go to item 12, which is the Flood Mitigation Alliance update. I don't know who's doing.
Sorry, I don't have my computer and I can turn it to this is your as well. This is next. Okay. So we did hold an initial meeting where we had 4 will apply. We don't have that as the next agenda item for discussion. But we are intending our first official meeting will be held the 21st, so next Thursday at 9:30 in the county. So we had some very good discussion on our initial meeting. I think we had like 5 agenda worth of topics that were brought up at that first meeting. So getting this first agenda done with money yesterday. We're really excited to get started.
Okay, any questions otherwise? Claire?
The big takeaway from that meeting was, you know, even though that group wasn't formally going since COVID, after meeting, there's a lot of things that have been done that I really believe the watershed alliance groups weren't aware of. That there has been a lot that has been happening, and it didn't just stop because the mitigation wasn't meeting. So I think that was probably the biggest eye opener of everything. So it was a good thing.
Good.
And next month we'll come back with inventory, because that was one thing that everyone was kind of questioning. What do we all got here? What have we got accomplished? So next month we're going to come back and kind of show what we've all accomplished.
Okay. Any questions here? Okay. Then we'll go on to 13, which is the appointment of the citizen members to the Flood Mitigation Alliance. An action item. So Cassie, are you up on this again, or
It's
or Matt?
well, I mean, I can talk about it. We had 4 applicants, and 3 of them were from active watershed groups. It was Chad Erickson, who's the president of the Rush Creek group, Nancy Wedwick, who's the president of the Coon Creek group, Kent McClurg, who's very active in the Bad X group, and then former board member Dennis Brault out of the West Fork watershed was the 4th applicant, but he's not part of a watershed group, an active group. So it was kind of we went forward as a alliance and kind of decided that the 3 that are active members of the watershed groups would be the selections.
Well, that was a prerequisite.
Yeah. Okay.
You had to be part of an active watershed.
Okay. So although Dennis was a strong candidate, he wasn't part of a group, so he didn't meet that requirement.
Okay. Any questions here? Okay, I guess we're looking for a motion with those names in there, and I don't have those names in my head. Maybe you can give those to he's making the motion.
Yeah, it would be Chad Erickson, Nancy Wedwick, and Kent McClurg.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the names as listed.
Very, very good. Did I get a second? Second from Mary. Discussion. Any discussion? Okay, not hearing any. All in favor of the motion as presented, say aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carried. They will be at the meeting, I hope. So, okay, very good. Moving on. Item 14 is the Millsna Dam decommission update. Mark.
Here's a few pictures I could share with you on there, but
Are you taking care of this?
yeah, in general, it's going really well. We got slowed down about 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago with all that rain. It just kind of shut us off out there. I got 4 pages here. We can go through them. Just kind of showing you guys a lot of pictures here of the bottom of the dam. So the first page is, you can see on the left of it's where the concrete pipe meets that joint block. And then it goes out to corrugated metal pipe. So that corrugated metal pipe was new in 2014 when we rehabbed the stone basin. So it was in good shape prior to 2014. It badly deteriorated, rusted through. So that just is all that exposed, and we're starting to tear that out. And the next page 2. See that corrugated metal pipe is gone, but joint block is still there. We got the fabric in place and I'm putting that large keystone rock right in the upper vortex of the first rock check. And then behind, so that guy's holding the transit check on the grade. Behind there is our old stilling basin. We're going to leave that stilling basin somewhat intact for some tailwater to dissipate energy when it comes down through our series of rock checks. Page 3, kind of standing up on the edge of Nat Valley Road, looking down towards the site. You can see that bottom rock check and the plunge pool there is installed. The second one's installed. And then at the bottom of the page, looking up, the whole upper end of the valley's been graded and the rock checks and tree checks are installed. We do have to go a little more to the northeast. That bottom picture, page 3, you can see there's a dead tree up in there. We're going to extend the channel about 100 feet to the northeast just to define that channel a little better. Page 4, you can see all the concrete that's associated with this, that we tore out, all the pieces of pipe and the cradle for the pipe. There's support piers that got sorted out. All that was spec'd to be hauled off site so it doesn't erode and be exposed in a future flood event. So the last invoice was November 6th. At that point, we had completed and stored work to date, $254,000. And we're right under 70% of our contract now completed. Looking forward, they're doing some grading out there the last few days after it did dry up a little bit, and they're going to put a silt fence on the western side of the creek. Definitely do that before winter and come back to seed and do our willow bundles and planting in the spring. We got one more rock check to put in on that northeast road. So far, we haven't hauled any material off site to speak of. See if we need to haul that off. We've got a topsoil pile. We got to tuck back up on the floodplain good. So yeah, October, very productive, good month. Hopefully we had good weather. November, not so much. Whatever we get done, we're going to, plan to finish in 2028.
The part that the contractor wasn't too keen on doing.
Yeah.
Is that this area?
Correct. Right where you can go at the bottom of page 3, essentially that wet area where sediment is deposited over the years. We had a meeting out there with DNR and our engineers. Frank came down that one day and they were just really hesitant about it. And once we committed and went up through, which I wanted to do sooner, but we went the creek wasn't that affected. Yeah, it was really dry, so we got lucky. After initial work had to be done off mats because the machines were sinking. But then as soon as they kind of got down to about 5 feet, then it would dry for about 2 weeks. They were able to get down in there and track around. A lot better than the contractor thought. I think he was a little more worried about it.
Well, and it probably happened before that November rain.
Yeah, that was part of it. I think the cross had like 44 days of no measurable preset. And we were able to catch that window, and that's why we.
Good. So overall, this is our first one of all these dams. How is this working on the timeline that you had planned? Are you ahead, on schedule, behind?
I think we would, we were hoping to have all the dirt work done at this point. And I would say it's about 90% done. So we're a little behind. Part of it was that, it just continuously rained up till about July 15th. It started. But overall good. There's going to be these challenges with all of them.
Sure.
Some of them are going to be worse than this one. This one's got good road access right off of Nat Valley Road. Material delivery. Some of the ones where we got to go back up in a valley. And we're going to have more expense in getting materials to the site and restoration on the way out.
Any deadline dates on any of this stuff, or we are?
No, we're definitely good on our deadlines. You know, we planned on planting in spring of 2025 because our spring of 2024 was so wet. We need to do that. DNR with the dam safety grant is pretty easygoing, I guess, with the schedule. If we can submit a timeline request, if we need to.
Okay. Good.
This galvanized pipe. How deep was that in 2014? You dug down how deep?
Well, so let's look at that photo. So right by that joint block, you know, you look at the top of the pipe is 1.5 foot below the top of the joint block there. I would say that's buried about 4 or 5 feet. But then out, you can actually see the mud line behind Patrick there, where the last 6 feet of that pipe literally exposed. Well, that's right where that dam slope come down, the pipe, you know, exited the dam.
Oh, I see. Okay. So
But
there's
back when we
like
did
water
it-
there.
Yeah, and that's the pool. Back when we did that joint block, we had to, you know, we dug all the dirt away from that old concrete pipe and we made a clean cut concrete to butt our 2 pipes up and then we formed a concrete block around it. That went pretty well. You know, it was, I think we put like 26,000 into that stilling basin, but that's including the new pipe, the fabric, the riprap.
I stopped down there one day about 3 weeks ago and talked to a fellow, I think he's an excavator driver or operator. He kind of acted like they'd never heard of Vernon County.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't know where he was.
No, it was more than they were, I think, thinking they were going to tackle. I suppose it had to do with that wet spot that you were talking.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been good. I mean,
It's a willow bund, what it sounds like.
yeah, they're bundling together these willow saplings and we're burying them near our log checks across the street. And they're going to put willow shoots down in to promote rapid growth and root mass to hold them banks. Long term, it's probably going to be grass just because it's going to be grazed, but it's kind of a quick and easy way to get fibrous roots established.
Why does the DNR pull the willows out on the creek banks, and tell streams?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pluses and minuses to them. You know, one of the big pluses is that they can grow very quickly and help to hold soil. Minus is that DNR has shown us that they want to see open stream channel with grass. That's your most stable. Because we know floodwaters are going to come, we can dissipate out on a nice even slope on grass. So it's kind of proven it. But it takes a while to get that grass formatted.
Small trees are good. Large trees, water works around them, scours a hole. That's where, and then they end up falling in. So you take out more bank than before. So that's why they love the small trees because they lay down, you know.
All right. Okay, any other questions here? Not hearing any, we'll move on to item 15. This is going to be the fun part.
Yeah.
Kenny's going to do this. Conservation practices overview of projects.
We had a PowerPoint with technical difficulties. We had to print them out quick.
Good pictures.
So busy construction season for this year. Go to the second sheet. We did 8 wells. We decommissioned 8 wells for a total of $11,044.86. And we're getting a lot of interest for this year. I think we already have 6 applicants for this year. So pretty popular. Yeah, they filled up.
Is that a 70-30
Yes.
breakdown too? Okay.
Yeah. Next one's Travis Plinkner's. That was a great stay. Who could that be? The total cost of that one was $13,186.24. Jeff Sieber, who's a contractor for that one. We go to the next page and
Travis just had, egg conservation or something. That's good. Yeah.
yeah,
His farming practices.
yeah, he's all over. Next photo is just a showing the core trench in Travis Quinter's.
What do you call it?
The core trench.
Core trench.
Yeah. So when you build the dam, you have to go down all the way across the center line of the dam. You can see the picture. There's the stake. So that's the center line of the dam. So typically you go down 3 feet from the existing all the way across. And you take that all out, and then you come back and you compact clay to all that core trench that locks that dam in. Basically, so the water doesn't follow the existing ground, go underneath the dam. So it hits that core trench and can't go any farther, and will flow through your dam.
Cool.
Are you studying it?
Yes.
Next one is Ruth Luckey's. Contractor for that one was Billy.
No.
Robert. Yeah, that was a grade stave. The total cost for that one was $16,720. So all these projects are cost shared 70%. The landowner shares. If you had a before picture of this one, because this whole waterway all the way down through here was all box elder. There's some garbage in there.
Oh, wow.
It was a mess. Next photo is just the same. Turned out really nice. Next one just shows the core trench again. Here's center line of the dam.
So many rocks in there.
No, that one was pretty clean.
How long does it take to build one of those? Roughly, the weather's good.
A week. Yeah.
When I was at the state convention, I asked, because of the amount of land dams that we have coming out, if they could advocate for a higher percentage, since they have this money and we're going to have a bottleneck because we have so many. And they listened to that. I asked for 85 to up it. I said, you got the money. Our problem is trying to get all of them done because we do have so many and the most in the country. So that was for
Yeah, we have a lot of interest. We have over 30 applicants already this year. So there's a lot of interest in projects for 25.
I did mention.
So, yeah. Next one's the Coon Valley Conservation Club. That one, they had an access road and a lot of the water was going down along the access road and then it was dumping over into the ditch. And there's numerous active ditches in there. So you can kind of see the next 2 photos how bad the ditches were. So it was dumping garbage, anything they could try to stop those ditches. So we did a great save and a diversion. Diverted the water into the grade stave, kind of a pipe outlet. So let's see the next couple. Total cost of that one was $20,640. Mike Minsky was the contractor for that one. Here's a couple. So the back of the next one, you can see the diversion and then kind of the pipe outlet. Yeah, it turned out really nice.
So 20 grand, that would be about $6,000 for the landowner out of pocket.
And what are
30%.
usually 3?
What's that?
3 of those when you're taking out on a property. So the other thing I asked for was some of that funding to be able to get another technician.
Yeah.
And some of the other counties were talking about that too, because the way that money is set up, it isn't for any position. Well, how are you supposed to get all these plans if you don't have somebody helping write them?
Right.
So they are looking at that also, but some of the other counties suggested using, I believe it's up in Dunn County, they have Pheasants Forever, paying for a position. Some have Trout Forever, to look at some of these large organizations that are very conservation orientated, to have them pay for a position was another creative way to help with this.
Yeah. I think Ducks Unlimited, I think in Richmond Center, they have a technician down there that's paid by Ducks Unlimited.
So you guys can use MDV funds to a portion of that for salary, and you're currently getting from NRCS, right? Any NRCS project you work on, you're getting a portion of your salary paid, correct?
Yeah.
MDB.
Multi-discharger variance, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a DNR program for the sewage treatment plants. They're they can't pay to upgrade. These small municipalities can't pay to upgrade the millions of dollars it would cost to meet their phosphorus loads. So they're able to trade with farmers on different practices. So, kind of trading, more bang for their buck.
And also looking to help fund that other portion of 30% with other partners. That came up quite often.
Expand on that just a bit.
So like
The landowner's share of the project, the county is through state funds is paying 70%. The landowner's paying 30%, correct? So that's where Mary's saying you can use some of that money to sweeten the pot in essence.
Because I would have to have a hardship. I mean that.
You've done that too. If they can show economic hardship, they can get 90%.
Yeah.
We've had a couple.
And then there's some with Valley Stewardship. There's partnerships with them and they have some funds too, and they're right on Main Street. There's quite a few other, it was a great learning experience.
Do you go through all this with potential landowners that are looking at bringing bonds?
Yeah.
All the different funding sources?
Yeah. Either through county or sometimes even federal. Sometimes federal you can do funding, so Cruiser and I work together.
Depending on the federal initiatives.
That'll be on later today.
Yeah.
Well, there's like, there's stuff out there.
Oh, yeah. A lot of grant money.
With the MDV, phosphorus, is that exactly what we're talking about at the Cat Creek?
Yes.
Working with Gaze Mill.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the treatment plants give the counties money on this. Yeah, because they can't reach.
Yeah, they can't
level
reach that, yeah.
But it's coming from their plans. Yeah.
Now the larger ones can pay to upgrade, like the Green Bays of the world. They can, Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewage District, they can pay to put up these mega plants and do all kinds of creative things. But, Gaze Mills and, Ontario, they can't do it with large, so they need our help.
I noticed the Amish community putting a lot of dams in so they have someplace to cut ice in the winter.
Yeah.
They don't come and see you, but no, they don't sign your contract.
We haven't funded one, or at least I haven't.
You're looking for erosion control purposes. He's not looking to put a dam in to harvest ice.
No, there has to be, erosion concern there. Yeah.
But there are farmers that instead of going through all of this, they do put them in themselves. Just because on their time frame, they have the equipment, they do it.
Well, you got 30 people already signed up.
Yeah.
How many of those you think you're gonna, because I know it's on a priority.
Right, we kind of rank them, but we did have more money. We have the MDV we need to spend, so, and we'll get to that on the last sheet.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have more funding this year.
And you're creating a ranking system this year,
Yeah.
so,
Since we have more interest, we need to kind of rank them.
Right. I was just wondering out of that 30, how far did it hit?
Sure.
Okay.
Depends on how expensive they are, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. The next one, the two pictures just kind of shows the after. The diversion kind of to the right of the power pole. Project. The back sheet is John Hundy. Just to basically cost $14,066. Jeff Severhoos was the contractor for that one. Next one is Lorenzo Nicolati's. It's 53 state. Total for that one is $11,567. cents. Mike Naminsky was the contractor for that one. That one, you can kind of see the core trench was kind of a curve. We kind of have mown that one to try to tie it into the bank. So that's what typically your center line is straight, but this one we kind of had to do that. And then in there.
It sounds like you got a lot of contractors interested in doing these projects because
Yeah, I
it's
know,
different
that's
ones.
a good thing. Like spread out.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, I think we maybe sent out 12 right around there. And in the spring, we send them out.
Okay.
At least we're having a better idea. Yeah, the next batch of issues finished for Nicolati's. Next two. Then go on to the next one. That's Andy Deals. Thanks to Sammer, we had some drone pictures. Mike Naminsky was the contractor for that one, and total cost for that one was $17,720. There was kind of an existing dam there that got blown out. So we have to start over with our standards and stuff. We have to remove it.
A lot of dirt movement.
Yeah, that one was, I want to say like 2,200 yards. That's a little bigger than we typically do. And the next sheet down just shows the core trench. Back sheet is just a long picture of the finish. So, and then we were in a time there where it was real dry, so we did kind of water a couple of them to try to get things to grow. So that one picture you can see as their guys are watering. Luther Hendrickson, Green State. What that one was 13,290. Jeff Stewart, who was the contractor for that one. Again, you can see the picture of the core trench and the finished picture. He's also supposed to do grass waterway, the time of the year. We'll have to do that next spring. So he actually had two projects that we were supposed to do. We'll come back this spring, 2025, and do the waterway. Next one's Justin Daniel. He actually had two dams. The first one was 15,066. Contractor for these two was Matt Miller Earthworks. You can see the before picture there. The emergency was all blown out. It was an ugly site. The back sheet of the finished photo of that one.
That's much better.
Yeah.
Who's contractor?
Matt Miller, Miller Earthworks. First time that I've worked with him. Did a nice job. Very, very particular. Yeah.
And these are all bid.
Correct. Yeah. Sometimes this Matt was a little higher than the low bid. So what we do is we cost share the low bid, and the contractor, the landowner wants to go with a different contractor has a higher bid, they pay the difference. So Matt wasn't technically the lowest bid, but Justin, I think, had worked with Matt Miller before, and so he went with Matt and just paid the difference.
Where's that at?
Hold on. 82. Trying to think of it. Olson Lane.
Just south of Bud.
Okay.
Nottingham.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The second dam was 13,887 and 66 cents. That one had probably a 10-foot ditch down through the center of it. That was a good one to repair. The next one you can see the park trench. But build those car trench, you have to do the 6-inch lifts. So you can see his sheep's foot roller there, and they have to roll each layer, 6-inch lift. It's well compacted when they done.
The dam building changed much in 60 years? They used to call it,
Yeah,
they used to call it a keyway, now you call it
core trench.
Yeah.
Basically, it's kind of the same. Yeah. Yeah, they've updated the standard a few times. I can't remember when the last update of that standard was, but one thing was using PVC pipes, those corrugated pipes don't last forever. And so that was a big change using PVC.
Rust out, separate.
Yeah,
They do. The PVC is much,
yeah.
it's easier to work with too, lighter.
Yeah.
Even balance generally.
Yeah, you still have those
All gasket.
corrugated metal pipe will rust right at the bottom. Yeah.
That's Schedule 80 PVC now. You can get it 5 foot diameter. It's bigger. Coal mines use.
On the next page, you can see it finished. Yep. Go to the next one, Greg Coulter's, Greg paid. Total of that one was 9,834. And you can see the ditch that he had there. I think that was from like 2000. That flood. That probably 12, 14 foot deep. It was big.
Did I miss Stoddard?
Actually,
It's
neighbors
behind-
Wills.
Yeah, I operate his farm.
No.
That's a big deal.
Billy Lucky was a contractor for that one. And you can see the 2 photos that's the finish.
Wow.
He finished it yesterday with the cage.
Yeah, he called me. Yeah, a little busy. Who's this guy? Yeah. And the next one's Will. This is called the critical area shaping. So basically you just go in and we cleared probably 1.5 acres. What was happening was the water was coming down the field road along the wood and then it was dumping into the woods, creating quite a ditch there. So we went in and we removed that berm along the woods so that water could just spread out throughout the woods and all the way down the road. And we put some thank you moms in there to get the water off the road. Kenny Berg was the contractor. Total for that was 5,250.
You probably covered all that one, right?
The grass, I was back there yesterday. I looked at it. The grass is really coming well down in that woods part.
Good.
Up on top, not so, I didn't notice it so green, but down there it was, so I was really happy with that.
Good. Yeah, I noticed we watered it
Yes,
and I think it grew where it was shaded.
yeah,
Right.
that's where it was doing the best.
Yeah. Yeah. it did. But these are all mulched, when we're done. That really turned out nice. You can see the last photos there.
Little big picture.
Yeah. And then the last one is Mike Brumstead's Waterway. Total for that was 4,147.60. Jeff Rose was the contractor, about 1,160. So the last 3, the Grass Waterway, Will's, and then Greg's, were all paid by MDB money. We talked about the multi-discharge variance money. So these last 3 projects were funded by MDB money.
They pushed me to do this. They said they had this extra money. This was a 25 project. And so
Yeah.
it's got done this year though. The weather was fine for it.
It did. Yeah, because we have to spend that, I believe it was 23's money. So we have to spend that money, otherwise, we'd lose it. So that's why we kind of rushed to get those done.
One more time on MDV for me. What is MDV?
Multi-discharge variance.
Variance.
Yeah. And the cost sharing for that is 70%. On the last sheet, like I said, we have a lot of signups for a lot of interest for 25. The funding, the swarm money. Swarm money is DNR, the Department of Ag money. They pool their money and then provide each county throughout the state funding. So that's what the swarm money is for. They're gonna get 60,700. And then MDV, 25, we're not sure, has not been allocated yet. So we're not sure 2025's MDV money will be. 24, we have 39,481 cents. Now 30% of that can be used for administration costs. So that leaves us with the 27,637 for practices, conservation practices. And then we still have some 2023. Total for that was 39,553. And again, we can use 30% for administration for that, which leaves us with 27,689, 36 cents for practices. So you can see we have quite a bit of money for conservation practices for 25. Matt and I have been out looking at sites last few days, so, and then we'll get out, we'll rank them, and then survey them the next few weeks. Yeah. And then we design over winter and put the projects out for bids in March. Yeah. Any questions?
For Mary Henry's good. Do you know what a thank you mom is?
Oh, what?
Thank you mom. Well, first, I hated to act stupid too, and I didn't hear it. I didn't know what it was, but years ago. Thank you, Mom. You can explain it now so we all know.
Yeah, it's just a little water bar, just to divert the water off the road.
It's called a what?
I call them thank you moms. That's an old.
Okay. Like, is this one word and I'm not understanding it?
Because when you go over them too
Have a
fast.
hearing problem over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. I mean, there is so many acronyms. It's like
It's like when Frank gets out of bed every morning, he says, thank you, Lord.
Wouldn't you think we'd talk more about stuff like this,
Yeah.
land conservation?
Absolutely.
We get
That's
one meeting a year where Kenny comes in and talks about what he's done. And then we're done and the rest is all worrying about all this other stuff.
Hey, you can set the agenda. You could have them come in every month.
There wouldn't be anything on there but this. I think we'd be in trouble.
Yeah. You give me more money and I'll come.
More text too. You're gonna have people do this stuff.
Oh, God.
No, my job is really rewarding. Put practices on the land. It's
for sure.
It is. And
Wow.
Matt joined us, a few months ago. So it's nice to have him.
Yeah,
He's
getting a look at it. We really appreciated working with you out there. A couple times I told Kenny it wasn't quite going the way I thought it was going to go. He says, "You got anything else you want to add?" He says. He made it work though. He didn't do what I was thinking. I just thought he wasn't thinking that way. So that was okay.
good.
There's at the state convention too, I went to the round table on farming sustainable rewards that they're looking at. And there's going to be drafted 3 tiers. So if you are practicing sustainable farming on your acreage for phosphorus, soil loss, nitrates, greenhouse gases, they're looking at per acre rewarding the farmer for doing that.
That's a great idea.
So it is coming.
We like rewards.
Absolutely. If you're doing the practices, you're going to be rewarded for it because they really want to get people moving towards this.
Yeah. Good. Any other questions for Kenny here? We got some other business to go to, but I don't want to rush off of this. But this is really the good feeling what you accomplish, and you're doing something that's for years down the line.
Yeah.
So
Nice job. That's the best thing. I love what you're doing.
okay, well, thank you, Ken.
Yeah.
Continue. So, okay. We will be moving on to item 16, which is the avalanche lease renewal. an action item. You got a copy in front of you of it also.
So you could have the RFP and the lease agreement. It's a good idea to put these out ever so often to make sure that, or so many years to make sure that the price you're getting is still relevant. Today's day and age. You know, the RFP, I just put a date on there. We can always change that. And then I updated the acreage to the 20 acres that they are farming. Sammer, and I took Sammer out there and he GPS'd everything and got an accurate count on the acreage that they're farming. Yeah, there's not really anything crazy on here. I didn't change the lease language much other than to add on page 4 at the bottom, if we sell any land out of there, which it was in, you know, that property is acquired in a floodplain buyout, so I don't foresee that ever happening. But just to cover our butts, put in the language that if we ever sell any acreage there, that we reimburse the landowner for the crop lost according to the APHIS standard crop value.
Probably a silly question. Section 11.1. Do we require a nutrient plan for anybody farming county land? Manure and fertilizer shall only be applied in a manner that is in compliance with nutrient management plan.
We should.
I'm not arguing it. I think that's great. Just curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we did have that done on council.
Yeah.
You are correct. How they should be in it everywhere.
Yeah. So we're talking about it with probably at the comp plan, we've recommended that. So you need a motion to approve.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking for a motion here so we can put this out for bid.
I would move to put this out for bid.
Okay,
Second.
I got a second already too. Okay, any other discussion here? Well, then not hearing any. All in favor of, got a couple things we're gonna change, right? Near that nutrient management.
Yeah,
thing.
I'll add that in.
With that, you want that in your motion, didn't you, Nate?
Well, it's the language was already in.
Oh, it is. Oh, I didn't. I thought it was.
Question. I wasn't sure if we
Oh,
required that.
cool.
Not, it appears we do. So I
Okay.
don't feel there's any need to change it.
okay. So all in favor of the motion as made, say aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carried.
I would request a 5-minute recess before we move forward. I feel like we got quite a bit left here.
Okay, 5-minute recess has been requested, so let's take 5. Say, Frank, take 5.
I can get
10:41.
Yeah.
You still with us, Carol?
I'm here.
They were asking, like,
Oh, Carol, I'm so glad you're always with us. over there cutting that.
You're unmuted.
Okay,
Oh, no.
I'm gonna call the meeting to order again. And we're gonna start with item 17.
Thank you, Mom.
It's a closed session and it will involve a review of former county conservationist personnel issues.
Close.
Second.
I will read the entirety here of it. The chair may entertain a motion to enter into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.851F. Considering financial, medical, social, or personal histories or disciplinary data of specific persons. Preliminary consideration of specific personnel issues or the investigation of charges against specific persons, except where paragraph B applies, which if discussed in public would be likely to have a substantial adverse effect upon the reputation of any person referred to in such histories or data or involved in such problems or investigation. Okay, at this time,
along, did you, John?
It did.
Finally got it. Should have.
Okay, item 19 is, we're
Yeah.
going,
Okay.
okay, am I rushing you? I'm sorry.
Nope, she's good.
Open session online. Oh, you have my notes and my pen. Thank you.
Okay, it's to schedule interviews for a county conservationist position.
So we had 21 applicants. Yeah. We have 3 took 4 that we want to interview for sure, and 2 are on the fence. So my question to the committee, there you go. They really-
I don't know, she was supposed to open that door here.
Grab that door.
Oh, wait.
Then she enters the bathroom.
Are we thinking this month?
Hopefully, maybe, we were thinking maybe that Monday or Tuesday of Thanksgiving, if that works. If not, we can.
It's deer hunting. I don't know how that affects other people. That doesn't affect me.
I can't either.
You're a guide, aren't you?
No, I do nothing in deer hunting. I milk cows. There's Mary.
I had to go down.
They were sleeping, huh?
Sit up there, sit up. Okay.
Are you waiting for me?
Whenever you guys are done, I have them.
Okay, yeah, but this is our last agenda item, then we should be done.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
Okay, we're gonna schedule interviews here, Mary, so you get in on this too.
Okay. So I said we had 21 applicants. We have 3 or 4 that we know for sure we want to interview and 2 are on the fence on. I'm questioning how many interviews this committee wants to do.
How long are the interviews gonna take? Hour and a half?
Each?
No.
Hour?
Hour, we usually do it about an hour.
I guess without diving too deep into the weeds, what puts them on the fence? Like experience, education, just kind of general.
Yeah, both, I'd say.
Well, with the, how many?
We get
21.
Yeah.
So like,
6 interviews out of 21 applicants.
And I'm gonna tell you, with this interviewing for county con, some want more money than it's on the table. So that eliminates that pretty much all right away.
What we can do is we can do a screener with them, usually
I would.
10 minutes, get an idea.
They think they're gonna get something they're not gonna get. That's not gonna happen.
So we can do that, and then how many like actual interviews do you want to do?
Well, I should do 3 at least, not 4.
4?
Yeah, I would.
Just keep pushing it.
Well, it isn't a day,
It's up to you guys.
but,
Dave says 4.
4.
okay, that's what what's,
I'm of the mindset more is, I could, this
I think
person is
once-
here for 20 years. I think more is better.
yeah, I think once you start screening, if you have some real legit, that's
Yeah.
the first.
well, listen, guys, go with 4. And at the end of the day, you'll know what you're looking at.
Suppose we could call the other, if we get through 4 and like.
And you haven't quite found what you want, or it isn't agreeing, that's when you're gonna do more.
Absolutely that.
You can always dig deeper.
Yep, then you could,
By them, you didn't make me cut, but we can always do different.
you're right, Frank, we've done that
Offer somebody and they have.
several times.
Yeah, interviewing
That's very common.
So what day were you thinking there, Cassie?
Well, we were thinking either Monday the 25th or Tuesday the 26th.
Well, never Mondays. Mondays are bad.
Okay.
Gotta go Tuesday.
Tuesday the 26th.
Yeah,
It is the week of Thanksgiving, so I don't know how everyone's schedules are panning out there, but
and it's,
Tuesday, I have grandkids.
I have Justin Olson speaking in my class and I lost that day.
I was planning on going to Greastown.
It's also deer hunting, but
it is also.
Dave, you don't count.
I would be more comfortable with
I'm kidding.
canceling class on Monday and make them.
Better be good.
Monday is
I've only got
better
it for 2
you.
hours on
Monday
Monday,
works
so.
better for you.
Yes.
Well, I could make it work on Monday, but Mondays I just,
I know.
I can milk cows on Tuesday.
I know I do on Mondays too. But it just, all the weekend problems come to Monday,
How early do you want to start?
10 o'clock.
An hour.
Right?
9 or 10?
Well, he's got to get 4
Yeah.
done, so I guess.
I like to do
You get all
10.
your chores done?
9:30 or 10 is when I'd like to do things. Be here, because it takes 40 minutes to get here.
Okay.
So, They gotta clean up a little
Do
bit.
we have, how many do you want here for the interviewing? That if you, like, if I don't want to be there, I'm gonna go deer hunting and that's okay, right?
That's okay. As long as we have a quorum, like in case you guys want to make a decision at the end, we'll be fine, Frank. You don't have to sit.
I'd much rather be in the woods.
I don't blame you.
So 10 o'clock here.
Yeah, we'll do it here.
Okay.
Will there be
That's
like,
25th.
sorry, I've never been through the process. Will we get like a packet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll send those out ahead of time. So we'll email those out. So you'll get, their application, resume, the job description. Do you want us to record the screenings ahead of time so you can do that?
Prep them or like preview?
You can, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like,
I wouldn't object to that.
for example, I did a finance director screening. You see my face as well, but you hear all of the questions that are asked and answered. So then you get an idea prior to the actual interview.
I like that.
How you've been doing the finance?
The finance
directors
one?
Works out really well.
Okay, we'll plan on that.
I mean, working out well is arguable. We don't have a.
No, we still don't have a finance director.
Well, we got,
That is true.
we got a possibility today. I watched that.
Tell anybody, we just put more money on it too.
All right, so we'll plan on that.
Yeah.
It's 4 interviews.
Okay, are we all happy here?
On
Good.
Monday.
On Monday, 25th, 10 o'clock
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
we're in the
works.
boardroom.
Okay. We're moving on to the next item here. Reports of committee members and announcements. Anybody?
Got today, Dave.
I got nothing today.
Whoa.
Yesterday we did water test, well water testing. So we had 75 people participating. And that was done at a cost share rate of $25 versus the normal $60.
Awesome.
We're also doing our summer transfer. So we've been up to 1 school and we're going to 2 more this week.
When's related, the early bird on tree orders?
Those are due January 15th.
Okay.
I'm disappointed.
Well, I gotta look at something.
That it, Sarah?
Yep.
Okay. Mary, do you have anything about your meeting? I promised you'd have some time here.
Right.
And I know you talked on county board,
We
so
talked and then just
Okay.
different things come up, so I think
you're good.
it's good.
Okay. Just want to be sure.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Anything else?
My story about the wolf going to Illinois and back.
Well, you told me
Talked about that last night, Dave.
No,
Yeah.
I found out from someone that cougar can go 2,500 miles.
Oh,
Well, and the
Exciting.
next time you tell us where they went and when they came back.
I will, detailed.
Details.
I don't know who we gotta talk to, but I think we need to get Dave like a 10-minute section on WVRQ to give the Dave report.
There you go.
I'll have to borrow that narrative.
I think it might be better to get him an appointment with Dr. Phil.
That'd probably lead to a TV show.
Okay, before we get nasty here, we was gonna adjourn.
That motion.
And Dave, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried, we're adjourned, thank you.
Jen got it 2 today.
Don't forget to fill out your, thing for,
Oh, I'm so excited.
extension.
They are.
Oh.
Is that a requirement?
I have this.
I don't think it's a requirement, but they wanted somebody to do it. I don't know.
I'll give it to the wife.
I guess.
I'll give it to the wife.
oh, yeah.
I
And
know,
I'll bring it back.
I have a wood stove.
Well,
Little girls at home.
Well, enjoy the rest of your day, Carl.
thank you.
So it was a good.
I hope, you're on the